Hello there, and a very good morning to you. I am Jamie, and this is, of course, the Chat Wrap on Relax Radio. How is everybody doing on this beautiful, beautiful Thursday? And you know what's most exciting about Thursdays? Why I love Thursdays is just because we're one day away from the weekend. And I don't know about you, but I'm so excited for the weekend. I cannot wait to, just give myself a break a little bit. And I think everybody deserves that, okay? You definitely deserve a break. It doesn't matter how badly or how well your week went. I know for a fact that you deserve a break. So I just want to remind you that we're a day away from the weekend, okay? So no matter how bad or no matter how good of a day you're having, just hang in there because we got one more day to go for the weekend, and I promise you that it's all gonna be okay. So hang in there for just a little longer and make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Now I want you to do a little favor for me, okay? I want you to go ahead and hit that thumbs up button if you're listening to us on our Facebook or YouTube, or if you're listening to us on our social media platforms. Basically, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button so that I know you like what we're talking about. And even if you don't like what we're talking about, that's perfectly fine as well, because we do have, we want your opinions, okay? We want your thoughts on what is happening. We want your opinions on what we're talking about. So feel free to go ahead and share it with me by leaving a comment down below if you're listening to us on our social media platforms. Or if not, feel free to call me up on 07852 473 473 at any time of the day. So go ahead, call me up, get on board the show, and I promise you that we'll have a good time together. Apart from that, everybody needs to have some good conversation sometimes. Everybody needs to like talk to somebody, and that's why Relax Radio is here. That's why we are here to talk to you, to give you things to think about, to give food for your thought and food for your soul. That's why we're here at Relax Radio. That's basically our goal here at Relax Radio. So go ahead, be a part of the show. I'll be with you for a couple of hours more, talking to you about a lot of interesting things. But right now, I want to talk about drag, okay? And I'm not talking about the physics concept. I'm not talking about dragging somebody. I'm talking about drag queens, okay? Now, for me, for the longest time, I didn't even know what drag queens were. But I feel like with, this culture being integrated into our everyday culture, everybody's so much more aware of drag queens. And oh my goodness, it is, for me, like RuPaul's Drag Race as a whole in itself is one of the most entertaining things to watch. But I think drag in itself is so much more than just somebody dressing up and putting on a bunch of makeup. It's so much more than that, okay? I have friends, or I've met people that identify themselves as drag queens, and they talk about their experience and they say, look, we feel comfortable. We feel like ourselves with that wig, with that makeup. It means so much to us. And that's what drag is to certain people. It's how they kind of identify themselves, and it's how they portray themselves, which I think is absolutely beautiful. So drag base that basically is what drag is, and it is so popular now. We have so many people that are coming out as drag queens. That is mostly members of the LGBTQ community, males specifically, who want to dress up as women, or have a bit more femininity in them, and explore and just portray that to the world. Those individuals are known as drag queens, right? Okay, now the reason I wanted to talk to you about this is because of two reasons. First of all, if you are on social media, you're probably seeing so many drag queens, you're seeing so many things happening, because guess what? RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 3 is going to come out really soon. And apparently the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 3 is just now released, or they were just they were just exposed to the world. And oh my goodness, it is amazing. There's so many things that you need to know. So you got to keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. If you're just tuning in, hello out to you. How is your day going so far? How are you doing so far? We've been talking about drag queens and all things exciting. And if you are not somebody that has watched RuPaul's Drag Race, if you just don't know what drag queens are, well, this is a good educating experience or conversation, I would say. So go ahead and be a part of the conversation. Tell me if you were a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. Do you like to watch? Because I definitely love the series, and drag queens in general, I think, are some of the most entertaining people on the planet. Go ahead and let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below or call me on 07852 473 473. All right, with that being said, let's get on into the conversation. So RuPaul and BBC Three have actually revealed the next set of fabulous drag queens making I think this their of course their series 3 debut of RuPaul's Drag Race UK, and it's going to return in September. We have a few days more for series 3 to be released, and I'm so excited. It's going to come out in September on BBC iPlayer, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, international drag icon RuPaul. So if you're wondering who RuPaul is, he is well, he is the most well-known international drag icon, and you know they started this competition, I would say, called the Next Drag Race Superstar, or even RuPaul's Drag Race. And basically what happens, it's a showdown, it's a competition between drag queens, and it's so interesting. And I do have a lot of things to share with you, because one interesting thing that I also do want to talk about is female drag queens. That's not something we've heard before, but it's something that's happening. So I do want to talk to you about that as well. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio.
Again. But now, if you say to a child, if I went up to a child and said, you've had one to forget, God, there'd be an inquest. Me, why did you reject my son? Well, I haven't rejected your son.
I want to talk about, how the generation gap, how much has changed, especially when you check the youth nowadays in comparison, to people back in the day.
I'd say when I was younger, it was more disciplined. Not now.
In comparison to now.
Not at all. Not now. The way things are nowadays, the younger generation, you seem that they can't accept the word no. If that makes sense. They can't
accept rejection, essentially, is all you're trying to say.
Yeah, they can't accept the word no. So if you, how did I do? Or you didn't do very well, and they get upset. And when I was a youngster, my father used to say to me, because I used to be sport mad when I was very young, well, still am sport mad, but like participating in different sports. And if I had a bad game, for example, he'd say to me, you had one to forget. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds like a smart guy. I mean, yeah, that's the real fact of the matter, yeah.
He'd say to me, you had one to forget. Get over it. And that was it. So I dust myself down and do it again. But now, if you say to a child, if I went up to a child and said, you've had one to forget, God, there'd be an inquest. Me, why did you reject my son? Well, I haven't rejected your son. Or daughter. I've just told them that they need to buck their ideas up.
That's the truth right there. I mean, if you think about it, if you check the generations, like right now in the US as well, I've seen a lot of these things as well. In the UK, you get medals for participation. But what's the point? What are you trying to? Yeah, what's the point? Either you win or you lose. People are so afraid to put that whole notion of losing. When it comes to right now, the generation gap is just crazy. How much. A lot has changed. Social media has taken control of our lives, and we don't even realize it anymore. We're crippled because of it.
That's absolutely right, Nick. Because, as you said, nowadays it seems that you get rewarded for failure. For the life of me, Nick, I can't get my head around that. Perhaps I'm just getting old and morbid. I don't know. I just can't get my head around how you could be rewarded for failure.
Welcome back to the show and a very good morning to you. How is everybody doing? How is your Thursday going so far? We've been having such amazing conversation. We've been talking about a lot of different things. And I just want to say it is definitely such a pleasure to have you on board. It's been such a pleasure to have you on board throughout this entire journey. And if you're new with us here at Relaks Radio, well, Relaks Radio basically is a community interactive radio station. And the reason we're here is to make sure that you are informed, is to make sure that you are aware of everything that's going on. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio. And yes, go ahead and share your thoughts and opinions with us, okay? Now, with that being said, I do have a lot of interesting things to talk about with you. We've been talking about drag queens, and I've been telling you how RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 3 is going to be out in September, and I'm so excited for it because the exact date hasn't been announced as of yet, but we know that it's going to come out in September, and all of the queens or the cast for RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 3 has been announced, and the queens are looking as fabulous as ever. And it's just amazing. Just to name some of the queens, we have Victoria Scone, who everybody knows of, Veronica Green, and so many more. And it's such a diverse cast, and that's what I'm so excited about. I can't wait to see how it unravels. But let's talk about RuPaul for a second, because I think RuPaul definitely is such an icon. Okay, she is. I don't know. She just is absolutely amazing. And I think RuPaul is the most famous drag queen. And they're known for the series, of course, RuPaul's Drag Race, which kind of exposed to the world, this culture of drag. And I feel like the only way I became aware of all of these drag queens and I became a part, or I was lucky enough to be a part of this culture of drag, is through RuPaul's Drag Race. And let me just pull up a picture of RuPaul really quick, because I think they are one of the most incredible people out there. Wait, let me just put up a picture. Yeah. All right, so that is RuPaul for you. That is dressed up as a drag queen, and that is RuPaul. And they are, responsible for this whole culture created called drag queens and drag races or whatnot. And I'm so glad of that. And the other thing that I do want to talk to you about is actually something equally interesting, because, you know, everybody's heard of drag queens. It's getting popular now, and it's something that's less and less taboo, as it should be. And that's a good thing, right? But drag queens usually, by definition, or by what people know in general, a drag queen is somebody typically male, that dresses up to have more feminine identity, to look a little bit more feminine, right? But there's some huge, well, I wouldn't say controversy, but there's something huge going on, because Drag Race UK's first female queen, Victoria Scone, says she is female, but she identifies as a drag queen. And she says, you know, I didn't know if drag was a possibility for her. And I think I just watched her interview, okay? And Victoria Scone, and I don't know, for me, I feel like she's breaking new ground as a female drag performer on RuPaul's Drag Race UK, because up until, so far, up until Victoria Scone, there has only been males that dress up as or perform as drag queens. So she says that, you know, as a little girl growing up, everybody else wanted to be a Disney princess. Everybody else wanted to look like a cartoon character, but she wanted to be a drag queen. And she didn't think this was a possibility because it's not something that's commonly known. Female drag queens, that's not something that's commonly known. But she says she's so grateful for the opportunity, and she didn't know if as a woman it was a possibility for her. But now, as a female drag artist, she's making history by appearing on the third series of RuPaul's Drag Race. This is a picture of Victoria Scone looking gorgeous as ever. This is, of course, Victoria Scone, and if you are just tuning in, well, then that is the world's first female drag performer to be a part of RuPaul's Drag Race Series 3. So I'm so excited to see how that's going to go, because commonly, like I told you, there has never been a female, somebody that identifies as a female on the Drag Race. That's definitely going to be excited to watch. That's definitely going to be excited to see. So I can't wait to see how it goes. I can't wait to see how things end up going. I'm excited for RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 3. Let me know if you are by leaving a comment down below or by calling me on 07852 473 473. With that being said, we're going to head on off into a little break. When I come back, though, we do have a lot more interesting things to talk about. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relaks Radio.